Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready?
I never really talk about this, but for the past 8 years, I've been running a Monday newsletter. It is completely free. The newsletter is a lot like this podcast, but there's even more tips, tricks, links, and fun things inside of it. It drops in your inbox every single Monday at 6 a.m. You can subscribe once again for free at mondaypickmeup.com. That's mondaypickmeup.com. I can't wait to say hello in your inbox this Monday. Hey, any youngers. It's me, your host, Jen Glantz, back with another episode of the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. Hey, guess what? We made it to December. Is that making you feel a certain kind of way? Because it sure is making me feel completely stressed out. I am like the ultimate to-do list person. It's how I live my life. I live my life, honestly, just in a series of lists that are all on paper. I have my daily to-do list, my weekly to-do list. I have like a yearly to-do list. I am the ultimate to-do list person. But in the last month of the year, those lists become real because I start to see all of the things that I didn't do yet. And now I have less than 31 days to try to get them all done. And maybe you feel the same. Maybe you're starting to reflect on the past year and you're thinking to yourself, hey, what did I actually do? And why do I have so many things left to do? I'm going to be honest with you, and you're not going to want to hear this, and I don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. So let's just talk about the truth, okay? You are not going to do all of these things on that list. You're not. You're just not. You're not going to finish all of the things that should have taken you 1 year in less than a month. It's not going to happen. So now that we have that on the table, now that we've been honest with each other, let me ask you this. What's the one thing that you actually want to do? What's one thing? And you might have a list of 20 things, 5 things, 100 things, no judgment here, but what is the one thing? And by the way, after you get that one thing done, you can do the next thing, but pick one thing. I'm so guilty of this. A couple of months ago, I made an end of year list, like a 90-day list of all of the things I wanted to get done. And the list, because I didn't write it down on paper, I wrote it on a Word document, sat open on my computer, completely untouched. A couple weeks ago, I was at Adam's parents' house and they have a printer, which is great. We cannot fit a printer into our Brooklyn apartment. So I printed out the list and I just sat there and thought to myself, wow, this right here, this list, it's like a 5-page list of every category of my life. This list would probably take the average person, including myself, a year to do. And now I'm trying to cram all of this in however little time I have left. It's not going to happen. And then I felt bad about myself. And then I felt regretful and I felt guilty and I felt like a waste of a person. And I felt all of these negative things. So you know what I did with that list? I ripped it up and threw it in the trash. Because what is the point of carrying around something that's only going to hold us back? That's only going to remind us of what we haven't done and what we're probably not going to do. So your friend right here, Jen Glantz, the queen of to-do lists. I have 3 to-do lists surrounding me right now, is telling you to rip these up because what are they actually doing for you? Except adding more stress to your life. And instead, I want you to find the smallest piece of paper that you can get your hands on, as small as possible, tiny, tiny sheet of paper. And all I want you to do is write your one thing. And I want you to carry that Post-it note with you everywhere you go, on the back of your phone, in the bathroom, because you go to the bathroom all day long. I want you to carry it with you wherever you go. And I want you to look at that one thing every single day. And I want you to try to do it in the last couple of days that you have. There's already enough stress around the holiday times, and you don't need to add to it. So if you have a ton of things that you have to do, great, pick one. Focus on that. Put aside the other ones until you've done the one thing. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.
Hey you! Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.